On July 17, 2014, an SA-11 Buk missile shot down Malaysian Flight 17, 33,000 feet over a Ukrainian war zone, 30 miles from the Russian border. Within 30 minutes, the Ukrainian government blamed the Russian-backed Ukrainian rebels. Within 2 hours, virtually every media outlet, from liberal to conservative, stated unequivocally that Russian-backed Ukrainian rebels were to blame and that the Russians skirted away the Buk missile carrier across the border. Strobe Talbott, former U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, now head of the powerful think tank Brookings Institution, stated unequivocally that it was the Ukrainian rebels, basing his evidence on a rebel leader's Facebook post. Within 4 hours, the Ukrainian government released a highly edited phone call they claimed was an intercepted communication between a Russian general and Ukrainian rebel claiming responsibility for the shootdown of Malaysian Flight 17. Before the bodies were even found, Hillary Clinton, who was ignorant about what happened to 4 Americans in Benghazi for weeks, blaming an obscure internet video, also quickly blamed the Ukrainian rebels and within hours put together an interview with White House talking head Charlie Rose to point the finger at Russia. Obama, as usual, was too busy fundraising and having lunch to make any substantive statement. It seemed like September 11, 2001 all over again, and that the media and politicians knew everything within hours, and whoever challenged the narrative was a conspiracy theorist and in bed with the enemy.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But it's not 2001 anymore, as the media and politicians are regularly caught peddling lies. It was the CIA front group, State Department-funded U.S. aid, and George Soros's front groups that bankrolled the so-called Euromaidan mob that overthrew the previous democratically elected Ukrainian government of Viktor Yanukovych and installed billionaire bankster Petro Poroshenko as president. And the so-called proof that the Russian-backed rebels were behind the shootdown, touting a YouTube video of an intercepted phone call between a Russian general and a rebel leader, was actually created the day before MH17 got shot down, per Infowars.com.
All right, Paul Watson, we got a minute and a half left. I know you're working on a lot of big stories right now at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. What else is coming up?
Well, another major issue is the fact that within an hour of this shootdown taking place, Ukraine came out and said, we've got bombshell evidence that implicates the Russian government. And so people were asking, okay, what have you got? You know, radar recordings, satellite imagery. Turns out they've got a YouTube video, which is this alleged separatist commander speaking with a leader of the Russian armed forces, basically admitting that they shot down the airliner. Problem is, the Ukrainians had already intercepted communications from the same people, allegedly, over a month before. So they knew that the communications were intercepted. The Russians, the separatists, made no effort to encrypt the communications. And
this is the same globalist, remember, the same globalist that had Syrian Danny. Remember him?
Yeah, but the big aspect of this is you actually download the video and look at the video encode timestamp. And this is not like Facebook pages that can be created before, renamed later. This is the actual time the video was created in the file, and it was the 16th. It was the day before the airliner was even shot down.
Oh, they had it all ready and prepared.
It was all ready to roll.
The Brookings Institution, along with its ugly stepsister, the RAND Corporation, backed by the same corporations that bankroll the media, pushed both the Democrat and the Republican administration into endless wars to make sure the trillions of dollars continue to flow into the military-industrial complex so they can't be trusted. As for Hillary Clinton, she is a pathological liar like her husband, so that anything that drips out of her mouth also cannot be trusted.
Is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
The mainstream media has lied to us for 6 years about the so-called American Messiah, Barack Hussein Obama. But now, if we question this same mainstream media about the shootdown of MH17, everyone from liberals to conservatives say we are conspiracy theorists or are in bed with the Russians. How about saying, as Americans, we simply want the truth? No one seemed to notice that the FAA, the EU, and especially the Ukrainian Aviation Service and Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council had banned all commercial flights over this particular rebel-held area, the Ukrainian separatist self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic. So why MH17 was even in the area is unclear. Even the mainstream media had to admit that MH17 was off its normal course. All previous flights had taken a different route, and no one seemed to notice that the Ukrainian government possesses a large cache of Buk SA-11s themselves, at least 6 carriers that we know of. And we know there was at least one Ukrainian carrier seen in the area at the time of the shootdown, alleged to be driving around missing one of the missiles. And the Ukrainian government has refused to release the air traffic controller recordings and refused to address whether they had fighter jets and Buk missiles in the area as evidenced by Russian radar and satellite data. But the most obvious question, which no one thought of asking, why would the Ukrainian separatists want to shoot down a Malaysian commercial airliner in the first place? Libertarian giant and former presidential candidate Ron Paul addressed these anomalies in his July 20th article, What the Media Won't Report About Malaysian Airlines Flight MH17. But the mainstream media was too busy calling him a traitor and conspiracy theorist to actually read his article. Ron Paul pointed out not only that the mainstream media wasn't reporting, but also that this seemed to be a repeat of the media in the military-industrial complex trying to lead us into yet another foreign war. Quote, "They will not report how similar this is to last summer's U.S. claim that the Assad government in Syria had used poison gas against civilians in Ghouta. Assad was also gaining the upper hand in his struggle with U.S.-backed rebels, and the U.S. claimed that the attack came from Syrian government positions. Then, U.S. claims led us to the brink of another war in the Middle East. At the last minute, public opposition forced Obama to back down, and we have learned since then that U.S. claims about the gas attack were false." Is this a repeat of the invasion of Iraq, where evidence of Saddam Hussein's WMDs were manufactured in order to justify trillions of dollars and thousands of lives of American soldiers? Is the mainstream media and military-industrial complex preparing the public for a U.S.-led NATO invasion of the Ukraine, an invasion of Russia, which would more than likely lead to World War III and thermonuclear war? Let us hope not.